student-run chapter in Massachusetts that came down. We have about 15 or so members that work in our group, and we've delivered or worked with at least like 16 recipients or so. And we've done a lot of the traditional hands when we started, but our focus more recently has been on task-specific devices. So we just feel that we can kind of create these more simple and rigid devices that are a little bit sturdier, hold up to younger kids playing with the lock, breaking them, and then also instead of having or just giving a lot more specific functionality to a task or an activity that a kid wants to do more often. So I'll start with one of our first designs was just for playing baseball. It's just a pretty simple thing, a couple of straps in here. We worked with a rubber rod that you can get for McMaster for like $10 or something crazy cheap, and just put a couple of screws through it, but everything else is 3D printed, and just has a little bit flexible thing. This snaps onto a baseball bat, not wood round, but snaps on a baseball bat, and then the user can kind of grab into it, have the baseball bat, and just gives them a little bit extra control while they're swinging the baseball bat. So we tested out on metal baseball bats with real baseballs, and they've worked pretty well. Our biggest feedback from the users that have used it is just that it's a little bit too flimsy. It stays together, but this rubber rod just has a little bit too much flex to it, so when you hit the baseball bat, you're getting a little bit kind of give, I guess, when you make contact. So you go strike, you get a little bit of flex, when in reality you want to have enough flexibility to do the wind-up, but when you hit the baseball bat, you need that kind of sturdy rigidness. So that's kind of a design problem that we've been trying to work on. I'll pass this around, I guess.
That's something I definitely partner with the prosthetist just to answer those questions too. That's a big thing I know is in terms of the rigidity that you need, but also to absorb that blow. I think that's a really cool device. I kind of want that file.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we've been open sourcing all designs. So I can give you our card. We have a website on there that we've been releasing these designs. So we have about 5, I think, up there right now for different tasks that we're trying to get a little bit more well-known, at least a little more testing on them so we can get other users in them.
Yeah, I've got a kit, I've got a scan ready to go, so let's do it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think it would be really beneficial if maybe we compiled a task-specific kind of open source, because for me, a lot of it's Thingiverse file here, Thingiverse file here, Thingiverse file here, and I know we have it out there, but it's hard to obtain that or find after your iterations, maybe I'll find an older iteration that maybe there's a better model too.
Right.
So I think that would be really cool to centralize that a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's perfect. Because I know Jen has mentioned working towards that. I don't know how much progress has been made on that, but I think they have 2 music-based designs right now on the Enabling the Future website. It's like the trumpet and something else. But we're really hoping violin, trumpet violin, which is cool. And so we're hoping to add to that and just create more. We've been focusing on sports right now, but hoping to work towards music and other tasks. So that's the basic baseball one.
So one of our next ones, this is for riding a bike. We were at an Upper Limb Difference convention, and it was in the summer, and everybody wanted to know how to be able to ride a bike. And obviously these typical hands don't have enough grip strength to hold onto it. So just a basic design. There's a gauntlet. They can put the residual limb in here. This dark green part is just attached between the two, and then the light green is like a flexible filament. It goes on either side of the handlebar and just clips in. The recipient's able to move from side to side and up to down to just steer, so they're able to ride their bike appropriately. And it has the quick release, so if they were to fall, they can just have their hand come out. So far we've given it to one recipient, and she's found it very helpful. She was able to ride her bike along with the designer of this. And we've got some decent feedback so far, which has been good.
I've heard that strategy before from a prosthetist who works with Paralympics, and having the device stay on the bicycle and the arm easy to come out is a safety idea. So good job on that.
There's another design I saw really recently where the socket part could be whatever socket you use for something else, but it has a connect. Basically, it's like a cup, and then it has a ball that goes into it rather loosely, so you can push it, pull it. But if you were to fall,
it'll pop out.
It would definitely pop out. Yeah, because I'd worry about, depending on how clumsily I would fall, that the arm would not maybe slide nicely out but get stuck.
Like a speed bump.
Oh, wow. Yes. Yeah, where it's if you
can
apply a
type it
certain
up
amount of
or you
pressure,
can
then
just
you're gonna
type it
pop out.
Exactly.
I think it was Eric Bubar, I think, that was working on one of those designs. He had the ball and socket idea. Or if you hold it in,
There
it
was
just
one,
pops out.
a gentleman in Poland, Christoph something.
Yeah, okay.
Long name, but he recently posted a little girl with a bike riding attachment that looked like it was working really well too. That's just one socket, it's not like custom to the person, it's just sort of like a small, medium, or large.
Oh.
Is that correct?
Okay.
A socket for your bike holder.
So a lot of what we do is the limb scanning. It's very similar to what we saw with the last presentation. So we'll scan the limb and then we're able to size it based off traditional measurements and that scan we have, and then we do more of a custom design.
Okay.
What kind of scanner do you use?
Same one, structure.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that scanner.
Yeah, I think most schools, I feel like now are buying them, so we're able to steal it from our art department.
I know Christian, your clinic, what kind of scanner was that they used?
We started with the 3D system, and then we realized that this is not enough resolution for the main purpose that we are doing with the small kids. The kids have small hands, so with that scan it is not possible to take all the fingers in a correct way. So after that we split to another scan that I don't remember the name, but the last one that we are using is from Artec. It is I don't know, this is called the Spider. The Spider one. So that this scanner has the higher resolution that we had found, but the thing is that the cost is $27,000, so it's pretty expensive. So we are using like a just service. We paid for the service and that's it. But recently we got a new scan. I don't remember the name of that scan, but this is pretty good. This is just like a table, the same like a table. I mean, it is with exactly the same that you
Like
have
a
there.
grid on the table.
Yeah,
Like above and you.
Yeah, but I don't remember the name of that scanner. But
Yeah.
actually, we are using that. The good thing about that is that they develop very nice software. So the post-processing of that scan is awesome. It's not about the hardware. It's about the software. Yeah. So.
I think the other one that is pretty common is the Sense 3D from 3D Systems, which is like a little bit more flat.
So is that what you and Chang used to make that device you got in your hand?
No, we use the same one that you guys are
Okay.
using. We use it in Honduras though, the other one, the one from 3D Systems.
I'll mention the one 3D business that we work with. They actually have pivoted their business, got rid of all their 3D printers, and they have one of the Creaform scanners with the VX Element software. It's very huge investment, but it is one of the most powerful tools I've ever seen, as far as that application.
The Create ONP?
I couldn't tell you that. It's one of the big handhelds that has like LED lights, but also two different IR sensors and like a visible light sensor too. You have to put the dots on so it traces, but it gets very like up to 1 micron of resolution.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know there's another software, I forget, it's an online CAD-based software around modifying like scanned limbs. I forget the name now, but I know that either sponsored eNABLE in the future or LimbForge in the past.
Yeah, I know.
I know which
one you're talking about.
Yeah, but that was really powerful because you can like nicely sculpt different features onto limbs, make modifications, and you can even like do the same thing where you're just creating a socket, just create the negative of the actual thing, and then add features to the outside of the socket, so you can essentially do all your designing inside the software. It's pretty expensive. I think it was like a couple $100 a month or something like that. But if you get a grant or whatever, that stuff seemed pretty powerful.
What's the material that's in the center here? Because it has some more flexibility.
We use TPU. We tried flexible PLA for that purpose. Flexible PLA seems to be a little bit too flexible. This doesn't grip. TPU's been printing really well. Yeah.
And I guess what kind of printers, following up that, what kind of printers are you using? Are you doing it, multi-material or?
Just single extrusion head, but we use a Lowell TAS 6 and a Prusa i3. So been enjoying both of those.
Those TASs are workhorses.
Yeah. Yeah. and the new Prusa MK3 is really awesome.
You're all students, so what all do you study?
So I'm an exercise physiology major and I have minors in biomedical technology and psychology.
I'm a mechanical engineering major with a focus in biomed.
Yeah, it's purely mechanical.
Biomedical engineering.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I want to talk about like one of the last designs, but
So, this was actually for the same recipient as that bike hand device.
Oh, perfect.
So this was, she wanted to sweep the barn with her parents. So we wanted to make a device that could hold a handle better than these could. So I decided to go for a relatively simple design. Using, this version has flexible PLA. So there's these little terrifying teeth inside that bend around something. So if we have a marker, we can just kind of slip it in and it does not really come out. So you can put in a broom handle. That's basically why I made this design, to kind of bend outwards. It'll flex out, so you can put a couple different or handles with different diameters inside, and you can also print shorter grips to accommodate even larger handles. And then this is just attached using, this is an older version of the baseball bat hand we have, but it's pretty much the same mechanism with that. I think it's just like a rubber rod that allows for a little bit of flexibility, so when you're sweeping, it'll kind of move with the broom. Yeah, if you want to pass that around.
Yeah, we'd definitely be interested if anyone has like any immediate feedback, aesthetic wise, functionality wise, or just weird thoughts about them.
Okay, so I have a weird thought.
Yeah.
The baseball bat?
Yeah.
I'm thinking you might be able to fill the tube and seal it with that. I can't remember, is it baking soda and water that when you impact it, it's hard, but when you're. Yeah, but it's
That's
something.
cornstarch and water.
Cornstarch and water, yes, okay. So could you fill the tube and seal it? Yeah, this.
By two, what do you mean two?
This rubber
Okay.
tubing,
Yeah.
if you filled that with cornstarch, it would still do this, but when it impacted, it would still do this fine. But when you impacted it with the baseball bat, when the baseball hit it, it would be a solid for
Okay.
that few seconds.
That is interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it
It's cornstarch and water.
Non-Newtonian fluid.
You're
Yeah,
like,
no, okay, that makes sense now.
No, but my son plays baseball.
Water.
But I think that would,
Yeah, that's a great
that
idea.
would give you both the flexibility and the solid. Yeah, you have to.
Amazing
seal
idea, yeah.
I mean, I think something, coming from an amputee myself, I mean, I'm a congenital amputee, so for me, it's like, I've had this for 29 years, it's not a big deal, but for someone that's an acquired amputee, that maybe had some activity they're unable to do because of that, or could not work even, maybe they were working in an industry that required, more dexterity, I think it'd be interesting to create some kind of adaptable mechanism, not only for a specific tool, but maybe we can create some kind of object that accommodates whatever task, but can conform to that not adjustable, but standardized socket that fits the tool, essentially.
So a quick disconnect.
Exactly, but having one design that can kind of be adapted to the user, but having the ability to create around that design those tools or what have you.
Which is essentially the idea of that prosthetic bolt that's pretty common with liners, where they do that for a lot of this
Exactly.
traditional sports devices, but obviously cost prohibitive. For
And that's
most
where
people.
our socket, we had a group of high school students from that conformable socket, not only did it fit the island hand, but they literally took the mount and last night we were talking about how they made like a cord holder for a guitar so I could, play guitar chords, or, a cell phone holder so I'm going through the airport with my bag and trying to find my gate, or something like that. I think that would be really, really advantageous for a lot of people.
Please know, and I never introduced myself to the group, that I'm Donna Zimmerman from eNABLE Evansville. But you just hit upon the project that I gave Miss Lydia Allen, our key designer, she's an engineering student, is to come up with a quick connect that we could size, sort of like the small, medium, large sizes there, but have that standard. Love that idea with your broom holder thing, because Lydia just drew that up for me the other day and said, do you think this would work? Yeah, that sounded, Yeah, I think it will work.
Lydia, we're a customer for that. I'll talk to you about it later.
So sort of a taper lock, quick connect, and then also a ball and socket to give some flexibility there. So, okay. And yeah, go ahead.
Now I remember what is the software. This is called MSoft from TechMed. That is a specialized software for that to take this feature on the limbs. So this is a specialized software for that.
What is it called?
MSoft from TechMed. Yeah.
MSoft with no.
So we are using that software since April, but I left Colombia at the end of April, so that's why I don't remember the name. Yeah, yeah, but that's pretty nice. Yeah.
Good to know. And do you know, is that you saying like subscription service was it for that software, or is it?
Maybe.
So
yeah,
I know like
that.
TechMed 3D, which maybe I don't know if that's the same. It might be. I don't know. But I've contacted a company where they, through the structure sensor, that's the ideal scanner they used. They would basically, you'd send them their file through their app, and they would send you the STL if you pay like per STL essentially per file.
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And there was just a request about talking about kind of the design, like why we have Wonder Woman on it. We've focused a lot on the psyche fitting. So all of our recipients have been children, all of them, or almost all of them, under the age of 10. So having something with like a superhero, Wonder Woman, we've done Spider-Man where the two fingers close and the silly string shoots out so they can have some superpowers as part of their hand too. Just all sorts of different things like the Ninja Turtles, just anything that makes them feel good if they want to have a cool color or a cool design.
And definitely shout out to Christian and those guys as well, who do amazing designs as well.
Yeah.
With a lot of the superhero stuff that they've been pushing out. That's paint, and then we put a clear coat over it. It's very good. I believe it's
Just
acrylic.
acrylic, yeah. So one of our mechanical engineers just really has a fascination with art. So instead of making the hands, he designs them and makes them super cool for people.
Yesterday I had my Wonder Woman fingernails on and I took them off.
Yeah,
How
definitely.
long
We
does
haven't
it
had too much
take
weather
you to-
taste. We haven't had too much weather testing with it, but we've been using this clear spray paint coat over it, and for the short amount of time that we've been testing it, it worked pretty well. But obviously, we want to report that. It's great. Do you have a question? No. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Guess that means